Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Anatomy of a Fight, the show where we analyze matches and point out the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to skip today the intro, because we don't have many updates. The only update that I'm quite happy to give you guys is that I was able to participate in a Warpmeta tournament. Haven't been able to take part in so long. Mostly because it is at a weird hour for me. It's at 7 PM my time, and that's when I usually do baby-related stuff. Watching the baby, feeding him, bathing him. If I wouldn't have lost, I'd probably have to forfeit because can't do multiple stuff while playing as well. So. Mainly, I lost because my attention was split somewhere else. But this was an interesting match that I had against Aoi Celesti. His lineup, after the bans, consists of a mid-spell sword and a mid-Telvanni. My lineup, after the bans, my mid-self-ping Dagoth got banned, so I'm left with a Crusader and a Rage Warrior. Now, I thought this was an excellent opportunity to show you guys the power of the Aggro Crusader, because we've just had Know Your Enemy featuring Aggro Crusader, and my opponent's deck was quite good. Was, I'd say, pretty much balanced. And what I tried to do here was to push for face. Unfortunately, my opponent had a lot of guards, buffed up stuff at his disposal, thanks to the Outvelocity Assassin. Now, my initial plan here was to go for face, but seeing that this was kind of blocked, I was wondering if I would be able to steal some keywords. Now, stealing either Velocity Assassin or the Orc Guard, this guard would have just ended with a dead, most likely dead, Penitus Oculatus agent. Especially if I would have stolen guard. I wanted to protect my Relentless Raider. So the only option to do that was to use a Candahot Brawler. I left my opponent an option to trade, even though I was sure that he would not trade the Outvelocity Assassin. That's pretty much the intelligent move not to trade the Outvelocity Assassin. Instead, use the guard to kill the Cleric of Kine. Because I'm coming down into turn 5, I have multiple options whether to lay down Divine Fervor and start pushing for face. I have the card advantage, or I just got Mortal Executioner, so the idea here was to buff and hopefully the Mortal Executioner would not get removed. Why I say that? Because my opponent is running javelins. He had javelins especially made. They're good as prophecies, especially in a spell soul deck. And they're good in a mid spell soul deck, as this one. Because if you have something that you don't like on the board, you can just remove. Or if you hit with a prophecy, that's even better. Now, considering my lineup, into the shadow lane. I had a lot of damage. My opponent thought well to remove some of that. And also Edict. Running Edict is good. I'm left only with the Relentless Raider. Going into turn 6, I had a couple of stuff at my disposal that I could have done. One of it, going for face, stealing some keywords, or just basically silencing and removing. That Out-Velocity Assassin had stayed a lot on the board. A lot of stuff could be buffed in my opponent's hand. There's no telling what might be hidden in there. I find out soon enough. And I'm trying to overcompensate. Thankfully, my opponent summoned a Mummy Guard, which gave me the right opportunity to use Penitence Oculatus Agent. I wanted to use Crusader's Assault as well, but I had the count advantage. There was no need to grab some more, and putting in danger the only creature that I had on the board. So, the best move that I thought here was to get out 5th Legion Trainer, Steel Guard, and go face. Luckily for me, in a Prophecy, which is Midnight Swamp, and that kind of blocks my advance. Penitence Oculatus Agent is vulnerable right now. It will be destroyed. And this will leave me with only the 5th Legion Trainer and the Relentless Raider. I have in my hand at the moment only one Crusader's Assault, a Laalu Sharpshooter, and a Divine Fervor. My thoughts here were, okay, well, if the Relentless Raider is not destroyed, then I can very well silence and go face. But the Spectre, a very nice move pulled out by my opponent, kind of obliterated that plan. A decent top deck happened here, and right now I was calculating if I have enough Magicka to win the game, because if not, the next move from my opponent would have been lethal. I do not have lethal at all. So, I'm willing to trade here. Giving up my 5th Legion Trainer in the process. I also use a Laalu Sharpshooter to remove that 2-attack creature, leaving my opponent with only 3 attack on the board. Now, in case my opponent had Dawnbreaker, I would have been dead. Luckily for me, that didn't happen. An Arrow Storm tries to kill some damage, but the Penitence Oculatus Agent remains. And because my opponent had no more guards in hand, only a Praetorian Commander, that was the creature that had been buffed all along by the Out-Velocity Assassin. And this led to my victory with 2 Crusaders Assault, or even a Crusaders Assault and a Divine Fervor. The match is mine. An outstanding first game. I enjoyed this match a lot because it was something new. I've never played against this opponent, and frankly, I never heard of my opponent. I think this is mostly due to the fact that recently Bethesda and Warpmeta announced that they will be teaming up into hosting tournaments, big money tournaments. But the plan never materialized, and I wouldn't say never materialized. It was a bit delayed because there's still, I think they're still debating and settling on the rules, the conduct, how it should be set up, how the admins will handle things, stuff like that, management stuff. So the team up was delayed, and last week Warpmeta did not hold their weekly tournament, mostly because I think they were preparing and had set up the initial tournament with the plan to have the merge with Bethesda, but as that didn't happen, it would have been too much to just reconfigure everything, and they dropped it for 1 week. This is the first week Warpmeta is back, and I must say the influx of players, because it was tweeted all over the place, announced on Reddit, on everything, on every media, even on Facebook. A lot of players, even new players, have noticed the tournament and wanted in. So the tournament had roughly around 80 participants. That's a number that I haven't seen in a long time. I haven't seen this number since the Master Series qualifier, when I think we were like 100 and something. Just a qualifier round, so that was pretty good. Back to our game. We are following up, as you can observe. I have kept my Crusaders Assault. The tournament rules state that I must keep my deck, the deck that I won, and my opponent must switch to his remaining deck, which is a mid Telvanni. I was able to successfully steal Drain there, but a Silenced took care of that. I traded the other Drain creature with my 5th Legion Trainer. That costed me my 5th Legion Trainer in the end, but I was able to come out on top. I have 3 cards, my opponent has 3 cards, but I have 2 creatures on the board. Opponent was trying here to gain a card advantage. I had no way to remove that, meaning to avoid him drawing a card. But I was able to get out the Black Dragon, and that's really helpful because my opponent did have some lethal creatures. That's the Fighter Skill Recruit. So in case that happens due to Prophecy, I have an answer, and because the Black Dragon is immune to lethal, I can very well play along and keep my creatures on the board. Ash Servant is not a creature that you see every day. It costs too much. It has some immediate impact, deals 2 damage. And there it is, one of the fighters give recruit. Unfortunately, I had already attacked with my Black Dragon. I was able to use Cloudless Illusionist to save my board. Now I knew in this moment that I had made a mistake, because my opponent was running in his lineup Ice Storms. 3 of them. A big mistake from my opponent. Forgot to trade his creature into the Black Dragon. As admitted by him. Leaving me with the Black Dragon on the board. The question is now, did I just give him another Ice Storm, or did he have another Ice Storm in hand? I refrained from filling up the board with stuff. Stuff that can be destroyed by Ice Storm. Scanderheart Brawler is a good addition and deals some damage. If I had wanted to prepare better, would have laid down a 5th Legion trainer and then summon more stuff, but the fear of Ice Storm is pretty big in a Crusader deck. The bat right now in the Shadow Lane proves quite problematic. I'm unable to remove him, and so the only thing that I can do is push for more damage. At this point I realize if my opponent does have another Ice Storm in hand, it's going to take away all of his creatures as well, because he will have to trade in that bat. So I can only wait either for a charged creature or something that I can buff and not be dead after a nasty Ice Storm. I risk it a bit. I risk quite a lot right now. But that's how you play Crusader in the end. You risk a lot because you need to push that damage. If you get too much into the late game, you're kind of dead. After I calculated, I knew I had lethal if no Ice Storm hit the board. Because 4 drain does not compensate for the amount of damage that I am about to deal. Most likely my opponent can get 11 HP. I have 11 damage only from the Elite and the Rift Thane. So that's something. A Circle Initiate seals the deal. And basically I can skip the last room. I wanted to make sure I didn't do anything stupid. But there's no need, because 3 damage from the Circle Initiate and 6 from the Elite win me the game. Well, it's been nice, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!